Welcome to the Digital Diary. This is episode number 5. And this episode is a really interesting flow of introspection on letting go. Now, in my previous episode, I made a recording around my journals and how I felt this strong call to sift and sort through my journals and actually let them go. I had this burning desire to just fucking burn them all, which I didn't do. But shortly after the recording of that episode, and I extracted some nuggets from the few journals that I picked up and reflected back on, I actually loaded them up into the boot of my car and I dumped them. I just chucked them. And I felt like the time was ripe. And not only have I created more space in my home, where this stack of journals have lived for years and has moved around with me for years, I also felt like a really interesting, energetic release too. And I remember voice noting my homegirl and I was like, girl, I have just discarded all of these journals years, and it's not just mind scribbles. This is my art as well, like my poetry, my flowetry. My very first poem is in one of those journals. And it might sound extreme that I've just fucking chucked the lot, but actually it felt like a real readiness. And I, just momentarily for the time to go. But when I integrate that letting go process, it didn't just happen in a split second moment that I'm like they're going. It was a series of insights that I received where it was like, okay, it was intuitive. It was like, it's time to let them go. Time to crack open a new journal and start again if you want to. And writing has been an integral part of my life for the longest time. Just like yoga, I sort of started around the same time, and it wasn't like it was hard for me either. It was like I really love this entire process of pen to paper, the feel of my hand as it moves around the notebook, and what actually flows through me is different to when I'm typing up on my notes. Although I get some good shit coming through via my notes, it's different pen to paper. And the reflection point was, I didn't just wake up one day, pack all my journals and fucking chuck them away. It was like, whoa, I've got like so many journals stacked up here and they're taking up so much room and they've moved around with me for almost 2 decades. What am I doing with these things? Because not only is it taking up space, they're heavy in their actual tangible weight. The contents of it also holds a frequency, right? I speak, so I create. That's abracadabra. And I realized that these spell books have been filled with absolute wisdom and sadness and grief and love and my early days into mothering and all these things. And I was like momentarily letting it go. As you can hear from my previous episode where I've shared some nuggets of oracle flick through the pages. And then it got to that point where I was like, it's time. And there was no resistance whatsoever. The time was ripe. And I let go. And it has got me reflecting about this statement of just let it go. We hear it thrown around a lot, right? Lots of therapists and coaches and all that are using it. Let it go. Just let it go. And there holds a lot of, I think the term let it go has a sort of root system. And depending on what the attachment is per se, it depends on how easy it is to let it go, right? It's like I go through my wardrobe every month, and there's clothes in there that I know I'm never going to wear again, that I just don't let go, right? There's a process there. But shortly after I discarded all of these journals, I went back through my entire house, every drawer, every cupboard, everything got pulled out. And I got ruthless on letting go. I have it all bagged up, ready to go to the charity shop. But I just got ruthless. It was my pre-menses time. And this is most definitely the time, ladies, to be utilizing the magic of our internal shift happening to navigate our external environment. Like, womb magic is power. And when we can tap into and utilize the power of our womb space, insane manifestations start to happen. And utilizing letting go, pre-menses is one of those things. And I use the reference point of like decluttering my clothes, and I know that a lot of women can feel into this and will most likely resonate with this as well. Like, how we gather objects can have a comforting effect on our system, right? But so can letting go. So can utilizing that practice of letting go of something that no longer has a service in our space. Maybe our style has changed. Maybe our color tone in our skin has changed. Maybe you want to get experimental with some clothes. Maybe you want to tone it down. I think if we stay in this same linear timeline of what works for us now and beyond, is potentially it potentially has a weight of bypassing within it, because the only thing that's constant is change. And if we don't learn to become flexible with our energy, with our intuition, because we're always getting downloads of the next move to make, whether it's discarding that pair of shoes that have been sat there for 5 years, that have been worn once, but they look beautiful, right? But they kill your feet. You know you're not going to wear those shoes again. So chuck them or sell them. Like, me personally, I just bag it all up and I charity shop it. And any like sort of nicer bits, I will give away to like a friend or friend's kids or whatever. And I do the same with my daughter's wardrobes too, because that, as we know, is always in a constant state of change because of how much that they grow. So learning how to let go of the grip of control as well, right? Thinking that we know that how things are supposed to be. We have all come on an individual and simultaneous collective mission, right? And, you know, I've heard this phrase many times, like, we're all just walking each other home. I think there's some truth in that. And like I just mentioned when I referred to my home girl that I just chucked on my journals, she also gave me a really, really interesting story, which has brought me deeper insight into the wisdom and the magic that we all hold and possess for each other. Now, someone would say that it was a relatively negative experience that she experienced, but actually she saw the medicine in this experience, and it quite literally transformed her space as well. And it got me thinking about how we're all an oracle for each other. If we allow ourselves to be open to the wisdom that each and every single human encounter, and also animalistic encounter and nature encounter, like what that all can hold and possess and process for us, like the lens of rigidity and the openness of mental flexibility becomes so much stronger, right? Whilst it's important to have that, like the boundaries that we hold around our field are also really important too, right? Because as we let go, it opens up space for newness to return. I deeply believe that. I see that happening. I see that manifestation quite literally happening in this quantum field, like a drop of a hat, right? And there's so much magic that we can really tap into when we learn to let go. And I also believe that there is some power in holding on, right? I think there's also power in that, like how we can hold something and treasure it like an antique. Maybe it's a really beautiful piece of jewelry that we were gifted and we're like, no, I know I'm probably not going to wear this again, but maybe this would be beneficial for my daughter. Or like for me, for example, in my closet, I have some original Aladdin videos, and they're brand spanking new, never been used, in this big thick plastic box. And I've got brand new cassette tapes, like not loads, just a few. And this is gonna sound super weird, but I was like, okay, I've got a feeling that I need to hold on to these because technology is advancing in ways that my brain can't actually comprehend at this point. This is maybe like 5-6 years ago. I've been carrying these like boxed videos around, and I was like, I wonder whether in like 2050, or I don't know, like maybe when I'm 70 or 80, depending on what technology will be like in those days, in the future, like these things could sell. These things could have a lot of value. You know, when I'm rocking up on Antiques Roadshow with my Aladdin videos, like, you know, that also has relevance, I think. So being able to discern what needs to let go and what you can hold on to, like the discernment of that is a powerful thing. And I don't believe that we ever fully know the absolute truth of discernment, because I believe that that is like a fine tuning. We fine tune as we grow. We fine tune as we go. And discernment is an interesting part of our human experience. You know, one wrong decision could fucking cost us, but one right decision could also cost us too. But it's like, okay, we need to make sure that our systems are fine-tuned and we're grounded and we know how we can make decisions and just go full steam ahead with those decisions when we make them, because we have to think of the greater good for self, for other, collectively, all the things. And this human experience is wild, and we can't get that bit twisted, because if you're a human and you're listening to this, we know that life throws all sorts of wild outturns in our direction, and it's about how we can stand tall in the face of it, embraced in our humanity, and be like, whoa, this is fucking wild. How do I approach this from a way and a lens that is of benefit for myself and the greater goods, right? Because every decision that we make through a fine-tuned, disciplined reaction quite literally reprograms collective consciousness. And there's that saying as well where it's like, you know, one decision, one person can't make a difference. But we absolutely can. One thought shift, one perspective shift, one letting go of, one holding on to, like that all has the capacity to evolve our species in ways that we can't actually possibly understand through the human mind, right? I'm definitely getting some interesting visuals on how this is going to amplify within our field of consciousness. But it all starts with little old me. Little old me looking out to sea, throwing away my journals and being like, fuck this. Like, how can I learn to let go of the grip of control and the clinging? I think there's holding on and there's clinging, right? And there's a frequency within each one that is quite clear when you can learn to be comfortable in your own energy. And being comfortable in your own energy means that you have to also let go of certain habits that you use to be numb the discomfort of being alone. We're an interdependent species. We need people, absolutely. But at the end of the day, we come into this world through our mother, obviously, but we come in naked and alone. You know, we're not wrapped around another child. Although there's probably some wild story somewhere with twins being birthed together, wrapping their arms around each other. I'm sure that's probably a thing. But, you know, when we're birthed, we come out of the womb, and through that canal, alone and naked. And as we depart, it's, whilst we might have people around us, on a physical level, you know, it's us. It's us on that bed. It's us wherever it is. It's us when the time comes. And this life is so precious. And I think that when we learn to let go, we can see things, this reality, for what it is. I mean, possibilities are endless, you know, we've infinite possibilities of what could be. But when we can narrow down our experience, if we can, quite tricky, especially someone who's got a holistic mindset, who sees nuance, feels nuance, and have a very broad spectrum of information that I can feel into and see into, a blessing and a curse, then things do change for the better, and life does become better when we can learn to discern, let go, hold on to, and flow in the direction of our vision. So there's my little episode on letting go. And I hope you get some wisdom from that. I know that a lot of my episodes, when people are listening to them, they resonate and they're like, damn, I needed to hear that. Everything's going to be okay. Letting go is good. Knowing when to hold on is good. And this life experience is wild. Discern wisely. Peace.